In the 1970s, 80s, and 90s, everything is going great. Tsavorite finally has its own name. It is found to be 1,000 to 5,000 times more rare than emerald, but this is where the story gets a little bit dark. Now, with this much success in the mining process, you're obviously going to run into some issues such as high grading, which is exactly what happened to Mr. Bridges and his family. They discovered that some employees had been stealing some of the Tsavorite and other gemstones coming out of the mine. Now, he decided to file some complaints higher up, and they went ignored for about 2 years. And then some arrests were made in 2009, but shortly after, those who were arrested were released. So at this point, the Bridges were receiving death threats and they were getting scared for their lives. Campbell Bridges and his son Bruce Bridges and 4 employees decide to ride into town and file a couple more complaints and see if they can get any kind of protection for when they're driving around and outside of their own property. But unfortunately, it was too late. On their way back to their mine, they actually run into 3 different roadblocks, the final being a tree in the road, and when they get out to try and move some of the brush out of the way, they're jumped by 20 to 30 people who end up fatally killing Mr. Bridges. It is believed that the people who wanted to own the mine and the land that the mine was on were responsible for Mr. Bridges' death, and I believe in 2014-2015 there were 4 arrests made, and they were sentenced to 40 years in jail. The man who actually murdered Mr. Bridges is still at large and was never caught. And so that is the crazy story that I learned about today when I decided to research Tsavorite a little bit more in depth. So needless to say, it was a very tragic end for Mr. Bridges, who is arguably one of the most influential people in the world of gemology.